I'm Craig Borsak with G2Technologies. Today I'm going to demonstrate an end-of-line tool tester developed to test impact tools. The system was developed to verify that the impact tool was manufactured correctly and it meets all the engineering specifications. The system will test the impact tool first to determine if there's a leak in the housing, in the trigger, see if a trigger was turned, stuck in the open or closed position. From there it'll measure the trigger force, make sure it's within engineering specifications. We then measure beats per minute, which is the power the tool can generate both in the forward and reverse direction. A sound measurement will be taken to compare to a good tool sound pattern and to see if we have all the components necessary in the part. And then we do a thermal image test where we're measuring the thermal pattern of certain locations on the tool to determine if the tool is getting hot where it's not supposed to. Lastly, after all these tests are performed and they pass, then a laser date code will be engraved on the part, and that will give us traceability of the part through the process, and if it ever did return, we can pull up the data and see what measurements were taken. So now let's test the tool. So I have an impact tool. I'm going to put it in the system where we have a nest set up for this particular model number, and then we will run the tests. So I place the tool into the system. It's in the nest, and now it's ready to test. So I then put my fingers on the thumb swipes. So now the door will close, and the system will start testing the tool.
On the screen on the left side, you see the tool inside the tester, where it's in the nest and ready to be tested. On the right side, you'll see the main user interface where it'll walk the operator through different steps. The part will be clamped, and then pressure will be applied to the part. During the pressurization, we are looking for leaks, both a stuck trigger as well as any manufacturing defects. From there, we move into a load test where we're measuring torque, sound, and beats per minute in both directions and verifying the tool can generate the necessary force per the engineering specs. During this test, we're looking for a thermal pattern on the tool to make sure there's no hot spots by critical locations. Once those tests are performed and they pass, a date code will be laser marked on the part. This will be used for traceability so they can recall data later time if the part is returned by their own customer. Once the part is complete and all the tests are performed, the door will lower, operator can take the part out, and if you wanted to look at the data that was recorded, results from the tests, you can see on the screen that all the tests that were performed, the values that were measured, and then the limits they were compared to. These data sets will be stored in the database so they can be retrieved at a later time, giving them traceability for the life of the part.
Open the door, and then you can start another test. So that test is complete, the unit passed, and they can move on to the next one. If you'd like more information about systems that G2Technologies develops, please contact us at www.g2tech.com.